Alright. Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, Classic, Non-Classic. This is episode number 1431 and Doubleshot number 1331. I have two trades from Captain America. And get this, they are the last two trades to talk about for Ed Brubaker's run for the book. Alright, first of which is Captain America, No Escape. This is the third to last trade. This actually is the third trade I can think of to collect issues from the period from 600 to 619. Yeah, third one. This is called No Escape. This is a 5-part story from issues 606 610. Of course, written by Ed Brubaker, obviously. Artworks by Booch Goose and Matthew Brittweiser for issue 607. This one, the best gist of it, what exactly the storyline is, it's the Bucky Barnes Captain America versus the current Baron Zemo. The one that made his debut back in 1980s. Yep. And this particular story arc, I kind of mistakenly thought this for Trial Captain America. This one right here is the beginning of the end of this era for Bucky Barnes as Captain America. Yep, the beginning of the end. Yep. Now, what I mean by that? Apparently, his past as a Winter Soldier has been leaked to the public. And apparently, no one wants to be Captain America anymore. Nope. Not really. And, of course, he fights Zemo in the storyline, which is the best thing about this. The whole thing of him basically being the whole thing of his past with the soldier, that is set up for the very next two story arcs of this run. A story arc that lasts for the last 9 issues of this portion of Captain America before its relaunch in 2011. Of course, this book is a Heroic Age tie-in. Well, listed as much when the book originally came back in 2010. Yeah, that's something interesting though about this story arc. It's the first and only one to actually have the banner of the Heroic Age. The following story arc didn't have that. They just had that for a lot of the books published at that point as the start of a fresh new era for a lot of these characters. And this is the one for Captain America. Though in the case of Captain America, it is mostly the beginning and the end of his run. Well, the Bucky Barnes one anyways. Yep, this is an excellent story arc. Love it. I give this one roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It is really damn good. We even have like a flying car in here. It's just pure fun. And oh yeah, here it is. Bucky Barnes beating the crap out of the current Baron Zemo. My only guess is the reason why Brubaker did this. And here's something interesting though about Zemo. This is probably his first appearance in the Captain America title in years. As far as I know, when it comes to Zemo, prior to this storyline, I don't think he ever appeared in this book. When it was Brubaker, no. Not that I could think of. I mean, did he appear in the original 25 issues when he had Steve Rogers as the starring character in the book? Not really, no. Not that I could personally think of. No. But then what about, let's say, during a time prior to the storyline? Nope, not really. As far as I can tell for Zemo, I believe this is the first time he appeared in comics. I think his last physical appearance prior to this was in the Guardian Protocol storyline released back in 2006. Yeah, I think that was his last special appearance prior to this. Also, this storyline does have a debut. You're probably thinking, really? It does? Yes. It's a character you are thinking, really? She makes the first appearance here? Okay. Now, who could that be? Which character who's still appearing today? Yeah, she appeared as an occasional recurring character in the pages of Spider-Man. None other than the female Beetle. Yep, this is the very story arc where she makes her debut. Yeah, and the thing about this woman is that she is the daughter of Tombstone. Yep. Her name is Janet. And a lot of people probably didn't think that she was the daughter of Tombstone. That was not revealed a little bit later. I think that was not revealed until Superior Force of Spider-Man. That was Nick Spencer's doing. That happened a few years later. But this Dork is her debut. And it is something, though, that Brubaker created the character that Nick Spencer is currently using in the pages of his Amazing Spider-Man book. Where at one point, this woman was dating Randy Robinson, the son of Robbie Robinson. And this woman also had a brief relationship with, get this, Scott Lang. Yep, they briefly were a couple in Nick Spencer's run for Ant-Man. This was, of course, for Scott Lang Ant-Man. Alright, now we reach the end of Brubaker, the last official trade to cover for Brubaker's run. And that is Captain America, Prisoner of War, collecting issues 616 to 619. This is the last one. There is no... I've reviewed the 4 trades that come after this one, so this is the last one I'm going to discuss for Ed Brubaker's time with Captain America. Now, here's something quite unique about these issues. There's actually backup stories in here. Yes, I mean, there's stories focused on Sharon and Black Widow trying to clear the name of Bucky. And we have stuff related to Bucky when he's in the Gulag. Now, the reason why he's actually in the Gulag, because it's not because he committed crimes of the War Winter Soldier. Not necessarily that. The Russians put him in there because he killed people from the Red Room. And you're probably thinking, really? And you're probably asking, what the heck is the Red Room? The Red Room was an agency that created the Black Widow. Yes. So, oh, and by the way, we have freaky appearances here by Barack Obama. You don't see him fully per se, but you can tell it's definitely him. And he apparently doesn't like the fact that he even was Captain America in the first place. I mean, no one approved of this. Well, not to the government. Government never sanctioned Bucky Barnes as being the Captain America. And then toward the end of the storyline, he's on the run. Oh, don't worry. It's not the last time we see him, because the story continues in the pages of Fear itself, where he gets killed by the female Red Skull. Yep. But this is, of course, really good. Now, there are some stories in here not written by Ed Brubaker. Nope. These are your stories. You have Origin, which is done by Brubaker. The other one not done by him. There's actually a few of them in here. The first 3 stories are done by him. You have Origin, which is done by him, with artwork by Travis Karras. Must Be Captain America. This one is done with Brubaker, and Ed McGuinness is the artwork for this one. And the third and last one he does in here is Gulag. That's the main story in here. That's done by Brubaker, Mike Deodato, Butch Goose, Sefal Candido, and Chris Simney. Great set of artists there. You have a story named Operation Shadows, which is done by the awesome Howard Chaykin. I met this guy in person. Really awesome guy to meet. I've also met Ed McGuinness as well. Spin, done by Colin Bunn and Jason Latour. You have Operation Tooth Fairy, done by Mike Benson, Paul Gist. The exhibit done by Frank Terry. Met this guy. Awesome guy to meet in person. With artwork by Paul Azitia. And Crossfire by Kyle Higgins. Met this guy too. And Alec Siegel. These 2 guys do the writing. You have Felipe Lorez, who does the artwork for Crossfire. But yeah, that is the stories here. Yeah, they're all really good. The whole thing with a lot of the other ones, they're pretty much stories of Captain America in World War II, which I thought was really awesome. Yeah, I'm not really sure why Brubaker did this for the last 4 issues, for these last 5 issues, where like a lot of these issues have backup stories focused on like Steve Rogers or various other characters. Well, my guess is maybe because Marvel wanted to increase their pages for the book because they were leading up into the Captain America movie. Now, obviously, what the heck happened next after this particular set of issues wrapped up? Well, after Avengers of Fear itself, Bucky Barnes, he apparently died, came back, got a brief ongoing series by Brubaker, who did the first 14 issues. The last 5 were done by somebody else. That the series was concluded issue 19, that he got moved over to Secret Avengers Volume 2 by Nick Spencer, where he appeared as a recurring character in that book. He didn't appear in a lot of the issues, but he appeared in some of the issues, from the opening issue, and a few issues in there. He was only part of the team initially for like one issue because just for the opening issue. The reason? He didn't like the mind wiping stuff because that's something happened in his own solo book. And then after the events of Original Sin, he got another ongoing series. This time by Alexis Knott. And this lasted for 11 issues. And it was called Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. Now, the reason why this book existed was because he appeared in the movie. And the problem with the book was the book had really terrible artwork. And if you read the first issue, you couldn't even tell what the heck was going on because the artwork would look so disjointed. And heck, you couldn't even tell Daisy Johnson, who actually appeared in all the issues of the book, that she was even freaking there. We even had Crossbones appear in the book. Yep. And then after the book was concluded, oh yeah, by the way, the whole thing of that one was that you have Bucky Barnes in space, where he basically took over Nick Fury's job as the man on the wall. That was simply put his job. Basically, the whole purpose of that was basically to prevent alien invasions of Earth. That's why we didn't have as many. Like, if it had been for Nick, way that Jason never explained it in the original Sin book, if it had been for Nick Fury, Earth would have been conquered 20 times. Yeah. So you gotta thank Nick Fury for that. And then once that series concluded, he later popped up in the pages of Standoff, which during the events of that book, he basically was, well, Steve, of course, during the events of Rick Mender's run, he, of course, got old, and in that book he turned young. In the case of Bucky, after the event wrapped up, he took some people from the Pleasant Hill. That was basically it's something similar to what Adam Glass did a few years later in the pages, actually 2 years later after this, in the pages of Teen Titans, where they take villains and they alter their memories. In the case of what Maria Hill was doing, this one took up a whole town and it was a lot of villains. What Robin was doing was for a small handful of villains so they lived better lives. And some people from Pleasant Hill later became members of the Thunderbolts. A New Incarnation, which was written by Jim Zebb, and Bucky was the leader of the team. Yep, he was the leader of the team, and he brought along Kobach, as a main character. In the final issue of the series, something really dumb happened. We had Baron Zemo recreate what happened was mentioned back in the 60s in flashback, with Bucky being strapped to an experimental plane and supposedly dying, despite the fact, nope, he didn't die. Anybody could tell with his arm being mechanical. Also, if you read that book, he actually got rid of this arm. Yeah, he actually replaced this arm he's had since his debut. Yeah, this arm right here. Yeah, he got rid of that arm and replaced it with a different arm, which was a little more similar instead of the big bulky one got from the Soviets. And what did he do when he survived? He just... how should I put this? He decided to just chillax in Atlantis for the entirety of Second Empire doing nothing. Yeah, whenever you... oh yeah, he's alive. It was so underwhelming. And then, pretty much right after this crossover wrapped up, he later had a team-up miniseries with Hawkeye for Tales of Suspense, which basically was part of the Marvel Legacy stuff by Matthew Rosenberg. Really good miniseries. Just search for The Black Widow. It was a really good series. After that, he popped up in a couple other books. He popped up in Falcon Winter Soldier, which is a great series, tie into the actual TV show, and he's still appearing as a recurring character in the pages of Captain America. He also since appeared in 2 volumes for Invaders. He appeared in All New Invaders by James Robertson as the Winter Soldier, and he also appeared in the Chip Zdarsky run. As what happened to Steve Rogers, it's like his life spiraled out of control. After Bruaker left, you had a total number of 4 writers after him. First was Rick Remender, and then it was Nick Spencer for a couple years, and then it was Mark Waid, who had the shortest run in the last 20 years in the book. Well, actually, not since Bruaker, but he was on the book for like 10 issues. And then you have the current one by Ty Nasakotis, who's in the book ever since. Though I've heard that the book's going to be ending soon with possibly a new writer. Who's take over, I have no idea. Hopefully, don't cancel the book because that's one of those books that needs to be published. But in the case of my final thoughts on Ed Brubaker's run for Captain America. It all started right here with this, The Winter Soldier. This, of course, is the Ultimate Edition, which I got this signed by Mike Perkins at Comic-Con. And this one right here, I got this signed by him at Free Comic Day. Yep, he was actually at Free Comic Day. I was actually quite surprised about that. And I got him to sign this. He did not sign this one here because, well, I did get a chance to. I got him a chance to sign Iron Fist instead. Now, my overall final thoughts on Brubaker's run on Captain America is that this book is amazing. Really good. I highly recommend checking this book out. But if you want to get a good start to Brubaker's run, you have to start here with the Winter Soldier storyline, which was also adapted for both the Winter Soldier movie that came out in 2014 and Captain America Civil War in 2016. They adapted a little bit of for the ending of that movie. But I recommend starting there, going that point forward. He did, however, do a couple spin-offs, and he also worked on a team book for Captain America, mostly for Steve Rogers, yes. He worked on Steve Rogers' Super Soldier, a 4-issue miniseries. He also had a special, believe it or not. I believe Brubaker wrote that. Yeah, it was just basically Captain America. It's basically what Steve Rogers doing on the side, because he's not Captain America anymore, so give him a book. So, yeah, this book here. And there was also Captain America and Bucky, which Brubaker did write that. I have not reviewed that yet, but I count it as a side book, that one, but not part of the main run. Super Soldier, that one kind of did, because basically it's Steve Rogers. And of course, you also got Secret Avengers by Brubaker, which he did the first 12 issues of that run. Yep. But yeah, Brubaker's run is fantastic, and basically, a lot of people have said that the cinematic version of Captain America takes a lot of inspiration from Brubaker. If you read the run, yes, it is quite obvious that Brubaker had, basically, you kind of say his run of Captain America had a lot of influence on the movies. A lot of influence. Yep. Yeah. But in the case of run overall, it's really good. And here's something, though. Because I finished up Brubaker's run, I can definitely say I read all the trades that collect comic books, at least issues from the main Captain America book series that have been released since 2003 to present. Anybody thinking, really? You reviewed that much far back? Yes. Yes, I have. Everything. Now, I kind of wish I can cover volumes 2 and 3, because I can cover these volumes so easily, but the problem is, the trades for volume 3 are so difficult to get my hands on. I got these books via, ILL. Yes. A lot of the other books for Brubaker's run I got via digitally, like volumes 2 and 3 for The Death of Captain America, Road to Rebirth. Those I got from the Paula app. In the case of Captain America Reborn, Captain America 2 Americas, Trial Captain America, and the 4 trades that came after this one here, I basically was able to review those via the Cloud app, and that's how I was able to get those done. And as of right now, I am done with Brubaker. I mean, would I reread in the future? Possibly, yes. But it's an excellent run. And like I said, I recommend it. It's really good. Okay, so that's a particular review. Next one. And here's the thing. The reason why, in case you're curious though, why have I not been doing many, why I put out just one video yesterday and why I didn't put any anime? I didn't have time to, because I had to rush to my grandmother's house because we had no water here. But right now, everything's perfectly fine. Water's back on here. And so, next what I'm going to do is how not to summon a Demon Lord. Yep, that's the next video review I'm going to do. And if there's time, I'm going to work on 7 Deadly Sins next. And in the case of Shaman King, if I don't get a chance to work on it tonight, I'll probably work on it tomorrow when I come home from Comic-Con, because I'm going to Comic-Con tomorrow. Okay, so next video. Bye.